Alright, welcome back. Last time we joined the Brotherhood. Whoops, that is not what I meant to click. I mean the Templars, and now we're definitely de-joining the Templars. Where's the right place to go? I guess this way? Yeah, okay. It's gotta be this way. Religious symbolism, yeah, it's definitely gotta be this way. Were you E? You sure were. Alright, tell me what they were really hiding from me.
It does not work! Why can't I understand? It cannot be. I refuse to believe it. All these wasted years, a lifetime of sacrifice, and we have all the pieces, I am certain of it. Unless...
It was a ruse. Yeah, actually, take the sword. God damn, there's so many of these fuckers. These guys are being such a pain in my butt. I hate this character. I know how to deal with him, but I hate him. They're very annoying. Okay, hold on. You people need to chill. Shit. Okay, this is going poorly. No, not you. The main guy I was fighting. Oh, I have no gun, that's why. Wait, do I have a gun? I should have a gun. I do have a gun. Okay. I knew that was gonna happen. I think I'm gonna switch to the whip and do the stupid whip trick because that seems to just kill everyone in this game. Regardless of like their size or health or whatever, it just doesn't seem to matter. First off, sword, second off, whip. Oh god. You fuck off. Ooh, actually, free kill. Okay, you guys need to fuck off. You're all way too close to me. Oh, I only needed to kill one of you? God damn it, I should have just done that in the first place. That would have saved me so much time.
Why? You
can blame Chichen Itza and De Ferrer, but I see through you.
My daughter. No.
Daughter? Only two people can call me that. You banished one and sacrificed the other. Foxglove. You killed my father with your care and your tonic. Why? Because he never truly loved you? And Jeanne, my mother? You stole her child, sent her away. You kept her enslaved even after my father had freed her. And now you attempt to return me to that fate.
In the service of humanity. In work. The purpose for which you were created. We were created. The highest purpose.
I will not serve you.
Eve will lead us through the war of generations.
There will be great sacrifice. Great sorrow to end the enslavement of the human race.
Now is the time to claim our freedom. Are you with us?
I am.
Eve will lead us.
Eve will lead us.
It is done.
Okay, and now I think we get the real credits. I hope we get the real credits and it's not like a double fake out. That'd be really funny, actually. Boy, do I have thoughts. Terrible. Hopeless thoughts. They just won't leave me alone. Okay, first off, this is a good Assassin's Creed game. I enjoy this one quite a bit, actually. Very unique, interesting. The dress-up mechanics is always funny in every Assassin's Creed game. But, they didn't really do a lot with it. They did a lot with it, and they didn't do a lot with it at the same time. I feel like they could have done more with the aristocrat one, especially when they gave her the, like, parasol gun, but then you use it, like, once, and, like, that's the end of that. That one feels kind of underutilized. That being said, I do think this has the most interesting story I've played in a while. The fact that the main bad guy was under your nose the whole time, and the fact they kept hiding the plot for you, and then they were like, I'm gonna show you the truth. And every time they'd show you the truth, it would give you, like, more hints to, like, what was actually going on and what people were really talking about is neat. Very clever. They never tell you who's giving you those hints, though, which is kind of weird. Maybe if you play more of the game, maybe it was only because I was doing the ones directly related to the story. Maybe there's, like, hidden ones, and if you do more of those, you, like, actually get a name out of it. Or maybe he said the name and I just missed it because there's so much stuff going on. Which I thought that was a little weird, I guess. Because it's just kind of like, I will tell you the truth. And it's like, but, like, should I trust you're telling me the truth? Anyways, that being said, interesting twist, good villains. I still think, once again, this game proves that all the Brotherhood Masters, the people running their orders in their respective regions, all of them in the northeastern hemisphere are just fucking stupid. Just some of the most incompetent, dumbest, fucking, like, letting their emotions get in the way of good decision-making in people we've ever had in the series. Like, there is not a single goddamn Grandmaster for the for the Brotherhood in the entirety of the North American region who's ever been even remotely competent. And it's been years at this point of them having time to do something about that. The closest we ever get is Connor, And Connor is only really competent because the last dude was so incompetent that anything he does seems like a miracle. Just a gift from God level of like, wow, Connor is just amazing. But really, all he did was pick up the pieces that were destroyed by the fucking previous dude and then haphazardly put it together. And you don't really get to see much past that because, like, once Connor's story ends, it's just, that's it. You don't really see anything from that point forward. I think you get some comics about it, but I don't even think you get that many, or any at all, honestly. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but that doesn't mean they're not there. It just means I haven't come across them yet. I'm trying to keep up with all the Assassin's Creed lore so I can talk about these and the, like, historical accuracy and importance to, like, the main plot. This game doesn't have any of that. This game has a MacGuffin. It has the prophecy wheel that, like, doesn't do anything in the game except explain the backstory of Adam and Eve, which is important because Adam and Eve are who start the human uprising against the Ishnus, or the Izus, whatever the fuck their name are, the god beings. They're the ones who start the uprising and gain everyone to rally behind them. They were former slaves, which is why, you know, it makes sense for the context of this time period, why there's so much slave talk and so much Adam and Eve talk across these last couple games. That's why. It's because the humans were slaves to the god people, and then they rebelled and took over. And it's funny because they always, like, in the earlier games, they phrase it as, like, oh, they rebelled and overthrew the Ishnus, but really what happened is, like, the more you learn about it, the more you realize that the Ishnus, oh, I got someone online, is that the Ishnus, that's not going to time out properly, because I'm going to speed this up in post anyways. What really happens is that the Ishnus, a rebellion starts, and the Ishnus are just so fucking distracted with trying to save the planet and not, like, be wiped out as a species from a solar flare, that they don't even have time to bother with the humans starting a rebellion, to the point where they just start, like, ignoring them completely to save the planet from a solar flare while the humans are continuously murdering the shit out of everything. Which really paints the humans as being fucking stupid, and the Ishnus being really smart and, like, doing what's more important for the greater good. And then for some reason, in every point forward, the Ishnus are seen as, like, the bad guys, which I don't really understand, but whatever. It's, you know, we can get into Assassin's Creed lore being nonsensical another time. The retconning makes the story make even less sense. My favorite kind of story fixing. Let me fix this part of the story by explaining this other part of the story that then confuses everything we told you before. Assassin's Creed lore. Anyways, so the this one was interesting though. That's what I want to get at. Is that this one was interesting. The MacGuffin though that they give you that essentially is just like, blah blah blah. We're gonna join you and fight against the Ishnus, and we're gonna have Eve lead us. Eve will be our leader. That's important. But not because of anything specific, because it's more of it's just like a generic retcon that's just kind of like, you just kind of have to shrug and be like, okay, I guess Eve was the leader. Because when they first established this, Adam and Eve were the rebellion, because, you know, Adam and Eve, the Christian mythology, you know, crossover stuff, Adam and Eve, first humans, blah blah, first rebellion, they had the apple, blah blah blah, Christian, blah blah blah, book, Christian, blah blah, you know what I mean? So it makes sense for Adam and Eve to be, like, on the same pairing. Until this game. This game, how do I put this delicately? I don't care much about opinions or the internet's take on woke or what is or isn't woke. I don't really care about any of that. I'm more of a, if the story's good, then it's good kind of person. And if the story's bad, it's bad. Whether it's bad because of wokeness or not, it doesn't really matter. Or if it's good even though it has woke elements, or it doesn't have woke elements, doesn't matter. The point is that it's a good story, or it isn't, it's a bad story. This is the start of Ubisoft going into the, what's called the Anita Sarkeesian era of gaming, where Anita Sarkeesian made that video that was just like, there's no women in gaming, and that's the game company's fault. And then a bunch of game companies went, oh fuck, we gotta put more women in video games. And then Ubisoft lost their goddamn mind. This is where it started, though. This era with Assassin's Creed, Unity mostly, but also this game. Where this is why the main protagonist of this game is a female and a person of color. And it's not anything, which I like Evelyn, by the way. Good character. Actually, more compelling of a character than Connor, ironically enough. But here's where it starts, because after this, where they're like, blah blah blah, the savior, because at this point they've killed Desmond. Desmond's been killed off. He was supposed to be the original savior, and then he's been killed off. And then it's like, this game happens. A couple of the later games happen with the female. Unity doesn't have a female protagonist, and they got like a bunch of backlash for that. So then they doubled down and added a female protagonist to Syndicate. Anyways, not important. I'm getting slightly sidetracked by video game lore history, not even Assassin's Creed or Ubisoft history. So because of that, they changed it so that it's not Adam and Eve doing the rebellion. It was Eve's rebellion. And Adam was just her right-hand man in the rebellion. He's just, dude, working under Eve. Which is so incredibly minute and not important. But I have to bring it up. Because it is really weird. It's like, I have to bring it up because it's like the start of this weird storytelling shift for Ubisoft, where more and more of what's going on in Ubisoft revolves around some sort of girl, and she is important. This is the first one that retcons it, so it's like, oh, we retconned it so that, like, Eve was the person who started the rebellion. It wasn't Adam and Eve. That would be stupid. Who ever heard of an Adam and Eve? It was just Eve. It's her rebellion. Adam was there, I guess, but it was Eve's rebellion. And then we had, we didn't really have anything too significant for a little while after that. But then they started shifting. The new main Desmond replacement is the female that they have now. And I can't remember her name, actually, because I don't like any of the RPG games, because they're too long and too grindy. So I kind of ignore most of what's going on there, but I do know the lore, at least. So she gets her powers. She ends up being like the main protagonist and like the new savior of the planet, who's gonna stop the world from being destroyed. And eventually, when she eventually, spoilers I guess, gets absorbed into the Animus like Desmond did, she agrees to sit with Desmond to search for a solution as the new Adam and Eve. But my point is that this is where it all started. This is where the, like, Ubisoft, when people were just, like, complaining about Ubisoft being extra woke and being annoying and changing things for no reason or making weird retcons to fit some sort of narrative, this is where it started. This small, itty-bitty little change where they made Eve the head of the rebellion and they made Evelyn the main protagonist. This is the starting point. Whether or not that's a good or a bad thing is up to you, because I don't really give a shit. For me, I think it's fine. It's very low level is the word I would put. The low level, I think, is the best way to describe it. It's very, like, it's a retcon in a series full of retcons, and it's probably one of the least egregious retcons they've done, so I kind of just put it in the sure, why not pile of Ubisoft weird and changes to Assassin's Creed lore. Like, if you made a hat, and you put every retcon into that hat, and I pulled it out, and it was like, retcons that need to be fixed, and I pulled out, like, Eve started the rebellion, I'd be like, maybe I try again, you know, maybe we'll reach back in there and try and find a different retcon. maybe find a retcon that, like, irritated a lot of people, like Desmond killing the main girl from Assassin's Creed 2. That one probably would have been a much better pull to fix. That one was a little really stupid. maybe I would have had them do something a little bit more with Subject 17, or just a little, or was it Subject 16? I can't remember which one. Maybe I would have had them do a little bit more with that, instead of just being like, he was there to die. Anyways, moving on. Remember when I said he was really important? Well, now he's dead. Anyways, nothing he did mattered. Hold on, let me reach back into the hat and find one to be a little more egregious. So yeah, I think it's pretty low level. I just find it fun to bring it up from a video game history point of view in this case, not even a Ubisoft point of view, because we're like really far out from that now. It was like a big deal for a long time. People were talking about it for like quite a while. It's part of that whole Gamergate thing, and then now it's been like, I don't know, probably like 10 years. It feels like everyone is just like, oh yeah, that sure was a footnote in history, who gives a shit? Oh, I might not need to speed these credits up. I'm actually at the end. I actually talk through the whole credits. But yeah, this is a small footnote in gaming history. Very funny stuff, and it adds a couple changes in the future for Ubisoft lore, but nothing too interesting. Mostly just little small things to bring up and be like, this changed because society norms got really crazy for a little bit. Anyways, they went back on this a couple years later. Not in this case, but, later down the line there's going to be a couple things. Just, keep an eye out for them. Don't take damage. I don't tell you how to live your life, game. I'm going to assume there's not like an extra cutscene, but there might be. It doesn't look it, but we'll find out. Well, yeah. What do we got? Like 3 minutes for this part before it ends. I think now while this is loading, assuming there isn't another cutscene, I may as well talk about it now. After this, we're going to be playing Evelyn again. Yeah, there's nothing. Okay, so with that, we're going to call it the end of Assassin's Creed Liberations and move on to the next Assassin's Creed game on the list. And the next game on the list is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag Evelyn, the DLC that ironically follows the same character. So, and I believe takes place right after this game ends. I believe this game ends and then her story in Black Flag's DLC begins like immediately after this. So it would be a good time to miss. So you won't miss Evelyn for long. She's going to be right back in the next series we play through. Until then, I'll see you guys then. Peace.